Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
All righty, Tom Gresham here. You know, of course, it is New Year's Day, and so we decided we would run the show that we did live at Gunsite on the Sunday following the election. A lot of excitement here. Check it out. Well. Did anything interesting happen this week? I don't know. It's kind of one of those boring old weeks, you know. Holy smoke. We won. Unbelievable. Wow, what a week. I got to tell you, on Wednesday, I just found myself in the middle of the day just start smiling again. It was just incredible. Yeah, I stayed up for just about the whole deal. I'm sure you did too. It was something. And yes, Jim was right. He said, I guarantee you, it's a Trump win, guarantee you. I've been to the rallies, guarantee you. My buddy Ray kept saying, I drove all the way across Oregon and California. I did not see a single Hillary sign. I saw Trump signs everywhere. I'm telling you, it's a slam dunk. It's going to happen. And I was late to the party and went, yeah, I think you guys may be onto something there. But yes, it did, in fact, happen. Oh, by the way, yes, we are remote today. We're actually broadcasting from one of my favorite places on planet Earth. We are at Gunsite near Paulden, Arizona, having a bunch of fun here. Been shooting guns and working with the people from Colt. They've been introducing some new products, and we'll be telling you about some of those. Some are embargoed, so we can't talk about those, but some really cool stuff we'll be talking about. But, of course, right now, it's all about the election, and I'm basically looking for your comments, your reaction. What did your friends say? Did you expect it? Were you surprised at it? Did you stay up for it? And what is your wish list for the Second Amendment? When you say, these are the things that I would like to see a Trump administration tackle, well, everybody says, well, sure, reciprocity, national reciprocity, okay, but what else? There have to be some things that you're thinking, this is what I would like to have done. If you could wave your magic wand and do whatever you want on the Second Amendment, what would you pass? What would you repeal? What changes would you make in agencies or bureaucracies? All of those things, well, everything's on the table, and I will tell you, I do have a pipeline into the folks who are deciding that for the Trump administration. So I'm not just, it's not just radio talk. I am actually looking for ideas, okay? Because we can backfill, we can go in the back door and get some of this information to the right people. My number here, of course, is 866-TALK-GUN. Easier, honestly, if you just say, call it this way. Just pick up the phone and dial Tom Talk Gun. Even I can remember that one. We are at Gunsite, the Harvard, if you will, of gunfighting schools. And we'll be talking with some of the folks here about what they've been doing and the incredible growth that they've been having and people taking serious self-defense gunfighting classes. A lot of people have figured it out. They've gotten the message. They realized that, yeah, the concealed carry class was okay, but I think I need to go beyond that. So we'll be taking those calls, those comments about that also. What's on your wish list for this administration? 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back.
If you love to shoot sporting clays, Mossberg has just the gun for you. The new Pro Series Sporting is a full-featured target gun that fits well and points naturally right out of the box. Designed in conjunction with Gil and Vicky Ash of OSP Shooting Schools, the Mossberg 930 was developed to work with you to make clay shooting easier, more consistent, and more enjoyable. This fall, head out to the range and break more clays with the new Mossberg 930 Sporting. Learn more at mossberg.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But do you know you could use more training? Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
After a long workday, you need a break when you get home. That's when it's trigger time. With quality adult air guns that are powerful, accurate, and quiet, and cost just pennies to shoot. We are Pyramid Air. We know air guns. Let our experts with more than 150 years of combined air gun experience help find the right air gun for you. Get your trigger time, anytime, for less. PyramidAir.com.
Do you know SID? If you want a gun silencer, SID is your champion. SID is a special kiosk powered by Silencer Shop that has shipped to more than 300 gun stores nationwide, where you and all of your trustees can register, get fingerprinted, and complete the documents necessary to own a silencer in your gun trust. Easy, ATF compliant, and you only need to visit SID once. SID, Secure Identity Documentation. Learn more at silencershop.com. Making the world a quieter place.
All right, back with you. Tom Gresham, it's Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN or just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. People are doing that. We're going to be getting to those calls in just a minute. But first, I want to bring in a good friend, an old friend of mine, a guy who's been shooting guns, going to Gunsite. He's kind of you become a Gunsite junkie. Bill McGregor joins us right now. How are you, sir?
I'm deplorable.
You are deplorable, are you not?
Yeah, I mean, everybody up at Gunsite has a big grin on the face normally because it's so good to be here.
Because it's good to be here.
But this week it's been a little bit bigger.
Now, you just finished a 250 class.
Yeah.
Which some people will say, well, you must be a beginner. When did you take your first 250 class?
Oh, it was almost 25 years ago. So it was, but this time they let me come. Yeah, this time they let me come back and use real live ammo. It was. I had a friend who I'd been telling for years, and you really got to go out to Gunsite, because you really, there's a system there. They've been doing it for 40 years, and it really works. So he said, yeah, but I don't really want to go out there alone. I said, I'll go back and take it with you. That's no problem.
I think I've taken the 250 class 3 times because it's not like, well, gee, I've already learned this. No, you really do need the refresher.
Oh, yeah, because every time you screw up, and I don't care what level you are, every time you screw up, it's the basics.
The 250, for those who don't know, is the basic handgun class here, but it's not like when you go to your local trainer and you get the 2-hour handgun class.
No.
This is a 5-day basic handgun class.
You're gonna shoot a lot. You're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn front sight press. You're gonna learn the 4 rules, which I think I've told this to people too. The 4 rules, they're not just for people who want to shoot. They're really good also for people who never want to touch a gun in their lives. So if you have someone who in your family or your friends or something who, yeah, I don't really want to touch a gun. They make me nervous, and whatever their reason, and that's fine.
Right.
If they learn the 4 rules, at least they will be able to recognize when somebody around them who's handling a gun is doing something stupid.
That's it. At least you can recognize, okay, that's unsafe behavior. The 4 rules of gun safety. Number 1, all guns are always loaded
all the time. And people say, well, I just say, but there's no ammo. It doesn't matter where there's no ammo in the gun or in the
treat it as though it's loaded.
Well, it is loaded because you know how many people have died in history from unloaded guns?
Yeah, more than a few.
Well, now you learn that rule, you don't have to worry about that. You know that if it's a gun, it's loaded.
And it was Colonel Jeff Cooper who came up with the 4 rules of gun safety.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. The great thing about Jeff Cooper was he believed in Occam's razor. Nothing more complicated than it needs to be, nor less complicated. You want all the parts you need, and there are 4 rules because 5 would be too many, 3 would be too few.
That's right.
So all guns are always loaded. Never point the muzzle at anything you're not willing to destroy.
Number 2. Number 3
is keep your stinking finger off the trigger. Because and people say, well, you got to be ready. Well, ready for what?
Yeah.
As Clint Smith says, well, how many gunfights have you been in? How many times have you tripped?
Yeah, you tripped a lot.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have your finger on the trigger when you trip. So number 3 is keep your finger off the trigger till your sights are on the target. And some people add, and you're ready to fire.
Right.
And then number 4.
Is number 4 is know your target and what's behind it and what's around it. You know where your bullet's going to hit because you let it go and you own it.
Oh, it's like I say, make sure there's not a busload of nuns and children back behind what you're shooting at.
That's right.
Know what you're shooting at and what's on the other side of it.
Exactly.
And it sounds simple. In fact, some people try to make it more complicated. They say, well, that can't possibly cover it all. Yeah, it does.
It does.
If you do those things, as they say, you actually would have to break 2 of them to have a catastrophic event.
Yeah.
You could break 1 of them and you could have a negligent discharge.
And there's a difference between an embarrassment and a tragedy.
Yes.
So
exactly.
You do those things.
But in the process of all that, I don't want people to think, oh, gee, they're just yammering at you about safety all the time. Safety is foremost, but mostly what you're doing is having fun.
Yeah, you're having fun and you're learning how to defend yourself, how to fight with a pistol. And really, when you come right down to it, talking about those 4 safety rules and defending yourself with a pistol, one of the first rules is don't help the bad guy by shooting yourself. So,
kind of a basic.
It is, yeah. You don't want to make it any easier for them.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I got a call coming in here. Line 2, Terry's with us out of Belton, Texas. Terry, what is on your wish list for this new administration?
Tom, I got a couple things the big ones anyway. Now's the time to keep the pressure on Congress. Let's get the Hearing Protection Act passed so that Americans can do the same thing Brits can do right now, go down to their local sporting goods store and buy a suppressor over the counter.
Yeah, and a bubble wrap hanging on a peg on the wall, right?
Yeah, amen, brother.
Exactly.
See another Texan.
And
Bill's from
let's
Texas.
Get short-barrel rifles off the NFA list. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yep. No reason for short-barrel rifles to be on there.
You can do as much damage with an AR pistol as you can with an AR rifle. There's no difference in the function of the weapon.
Mm-hmm. Nope,
so
you're exactly right.
Let's get short-barrel rifles off the NFA list, too.
Okay.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. That's a good point because everywhere else, you put mufflers on your cars and your lawnmowers and everything else to try to reduce.
That's considered being a good neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
But why would you not do that with these loud guns?
I really don't want a suppressor, except I want to be a good neighbor. So that's why I want to get one.
That's right.
Just to be a good neighbor. He's absolutely right.
Terry, I'm liking where you're going with this. So we're going to get our Hearing Protection Acts. We're going to get everybody can have silencers. We're going to get rid of the whole idea of SBRs. Call them pistols if you want to. I don't care, but there doesn't need to be a category for SBRs.
I don't see, and the other thing is, talk about Second Amendment. It says the right to keep and bear arms. I don't see why we have to split hairs all the time. It's arms.
It's arms.
It's all keep them.
It's all. Well, one could argue that we could go back and get rid of the whole 1934 National Firearms Act so that machine guns and suppressors and silencers are not a separate category at all.
That's right. And ammunition manufacturers would love that too. Because you use up a lot more ammo when you have those.
Now, there are, of course, I could come up with a whole list of things that I would like to do, which is like repeal pretty much all the gun control laws. Mm-hmm. But you have to be realistic. What can you actually get away with? There are some things that can be done. Terry, listen, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate that. There are some things that could be done administratively without passing anything. I am told, have it from pretty good authority, that a lot of the ATF agents who are doing the audits on gun stores are being told, make it hard, find something so we can take their licenses away.
Yeah.
Well, you just simply change that order from the top and say no more of that foolishness. You're not in the business of trying to put gun stores out of business.
Well, they did that when they first had the little guys get the FFLs, and then they called them shade trees.
Then they said, well, you got to have a storefront and all that, and exactly. So, no, exactly right. So, here's another one coming in. Line 4, George is with us out of Jacksonville, Florida. George, what is your wish list?
My wish list, Tom, is like the previous caller. I think we need to do something with the NFA, short barrel rifles, shotguns, any other weapons, all that nonsense needs to go. I realize, as you mentioned, there's only so much we can get away with, but also we need to take a look at if we can't pull machine guns out of there, the 1986 Firearms Owners Protection Act needs to go, better known as the Volcker Amendment. That is blatantly unconstitutional. It's got to go.
And the whole idea, we've got to have... National Reciprocity, but I was going to say the whole thing of travel. Right now, there is a law that says you can travel state to state with your gun, but some states simply ignore it and they arrest you as you go through.
Or they have a state like New Jersey where if you get caught with hollow point.
Right. Hollow point ammo, it's a year jail, before you get started. So some kind of way. And I try to explain to people, and I appreciate the call, George. I try to explain to people that imagine you're driving down the street or down the highway, and every city you go into has a different speed limit, but they won't post the speed limits.
Yeah. Well, you're supposed to know that.
You're just supposed to know that. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're in our state now. The laws changed. Now you don't going into our city. The laws have changed, and it's not like I'm going to write you a ticket. Oh no, it's a year in jail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you just became a felon.
Yeah, and that's the G.K. Chesterton put it succinctly. He said, once you get rid of the big laws, you don't get liberty. You get lots of little laws, and that's what we have now. And the fact of the matter is, we know what is right and what is not right to do with a gun. And apparently, I'm not going to mention any names, but a certain former candidate for president did not know. It was really a question of, I have lawyers to keep me out of jail, so it must be legal.
Yeah, there is that.
Wow.
There is that. So, okay, so.
And the last caller made a really good point, and you've alluded to it too, is that you've got to do things step by step by step.
Yes.
You don't.
It's a building block.
It is a building block. You have to when you go to if you're bird hunting, you don't shoot the whole flock because you're not going to get any.
Right.
You pick something and then you pick the next thing and you pick the next thing.
Pick the thing you say, okay, I know we can do this. And then you go to the next thing. I'm pretty sure we can do this. And then you work your way up.
And another thing is what people do. The change in people's attitudes is very powerful because, you look 20 years ago or 25 or however many years ago. I've slept a lot since then. It's been a long time. Years go by. But back in the 90s when they were talking about the assault weapon ban, and remember you had to have the cosmetic things and
bayonet
lug, which is a lot of bayonet crime these days. But they were able to do that because not that many people had those guns,
and that landscape has changed significantly. You got a third of the people buying handguns now. First time handgun buyers are women. A third of the people getting concealed carry permits now are women. And when you look out at Gunsite, I'm watching, and you were here all week.
Yeah.
You had women in all the classes.
And they do so well because they listen.
As I say, they don't suffer from testosterone poisoning.
That's right. They don't.
They'll actually listen to an instructor.
Yeah.
You had the funny story of the man and his wife.
Oh yeah, this was 25 years ago. This is 25 years ago, and the first 250 I took. A guy showed up. He was a retired doctor, had been in the Army, and came out. And she looked like, picture this. She was, and I say this, as you know, very affectionately. She looked like a homeschool mom.
Okay.
And a homeschool mom, if you're a homeschool mom listening to this, you'll smile and know exactly what I mean. She came out here and she had never fired a gun. She picked up a .45 auto, a Gunsite model, at the pro shop here, the gunsmithy. And she was very apologetic to the instructors that say, I've never done this and I don't want to hold the class back. And, I'll leave. My husband just wanted me to do it, so I'm doing it to please him. And, that's red meat for the Gunsite instructors. They love that.
Yeah, we're going to take this challenge. Yeah.
You are going to do just fine. You're not going to believe how good you do.
Right.
And she listened and
Well, but what was her husband telling her?
Well, her husband was always saying, that's not the way we did it out in Fort Mudge. Way back when. The thing about that is you don't get a lot, unless you're, high-speed, low-drag ninja type,
right.
You don't get, if you're
you don't
just...
get a lot of firearms training in most military. You really don't.
Particularly with a pistol.
Right.
So by Wednesday, she was out shooting him. And when she came down there and did her school drills in her little long denim skirt and white tennis shoes, I mean, she did really well. And I decided at that point I wasn't going to break into her house.
Well, and the thing is, you talk to them here, and it's so common where the newbie, whether it's a woman or a man, comes in, doesn't know anything about it, and they go, just kind of, they're a little bit nervous about it, but they have a system. And that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
They have a system, and they can take you no matter who you are or what you are, as long as, and here's the deal, as long as you are open to listening.
Yes.
The people who come in and say, I shoot isosceles, or that's not the way I use, I heard it yesterday. I was in the Marines, and that's not how we did it. Well, then what are you here for? If you're not open to listening to the instruction, now, you may at the end of it say, okay, I want to incorporate some of that, but I don't want to use that.
And they will encourage you
Fair
to do
enough.
that, you know.
But it makes no sense to come here and say, I'm going to take the class and absolutely ignore everything you tell me.
Yeah.
You might as well set fire to the money.
Yeah, what they say is it's amazing how many people come here and spend so much money to tell us what they know, you know, how they do it. And you know, the other thing is you see it. Now, you and I, Tom, we're old enough to have been shooting back when they invented percussion caps.
Yeah.
No, not
almost.
No, almost, no. But you said in this 250 last week, there was a young nurse who came here, and she had fired a gun a couple of times, and she was very nervous. And I said, you're doing fine. You're doing just great. And she said, "Oh no, I wish. I mean, you shoot better than I. Well, I've been doing it longer,
right.
But you know, you're doing it great." And she kept getting better and better and better and better and better. Did you know that ungrateful little witch beat me in the shoot-off?
And you couldn't be happier.
I couldn't be happier for her. It was great. You should have seen the smile on her face. So it was.
That's terrific.
It's wonderful.
That is true. It is, and that's the essence of it. You get to a good school like this who knows how to start you off and build the building blocks again, and at the end of it, you will have worked your way in a shoot house. You will have shot from the ground. You would shoot while you're moving. You're going to shoot, left-handed, right-handed. You're going to shoot one-handed. You're going to fix malfunctions. You're going to do reloads. You will be amazed at what you will have done at the end of a week here.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned to you that the friend of mine that came,
right?
He texted me this morning, and he said, "You feel like coming back in April to do 350?
The next class,
yeah, the next
350 class.
Yeah, I'll do that."
You say, "Yeah, you're game for that, aren't you?"
I could do that.
Yeah, okay. Well, as I always say, when you take your first Gunsite class, that's all it is your first, because you're going to want to come back for more.
Yep.
It's always the way.
Absolutely.
All right, Bill McGregor, thank you. We're going to have you on a little bit later on. We're going to be having some different guests.
Good. I'll go out and I'll polish your car.
That'd be fabulous. It's a rental. And it was so great because I had New York plates as I was driving through Arizona. I made a lot of friends that way.
Well, I'll get all the soap and spray paint off it. Don't worry.
Because we are deplorable after all.
Yeah.
All right, tell you what, don't go anywhere, everybody, because we are live from Gunsite in Arizona. We're going to be talking about some of the new Colt products here. We're going to be taking your calls, your comments about the election. If you had your wish list, what would you want to see Donald Trump do for the Second Amendment? 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. Welcome back to Gun Talk. Tom Gresham here. We're going to continue with our recorded show that we did right after the election, getting our thoughts and reactions as we head into 2017. No fun. No fun at all around here. Hanging out at Gunsite with my friends. It's the weirdest thing. Everywhere you go around here, everybody's wearing a loaded gun, and everybody is smiling, and everybody's polite, and everybody's having a good time. And it's like they say Disney World's best. No, this is the happiest place on earth for me. Paul Spitale from Colt joins me right now. You're over here just smiling from ear to ear.
I am. Just hearing you talk like that makes
it's true, though, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness.
What a place.
It's like a mecca here. It's just really special to come here and be able to be around so many sportsmen, so many people that support our freedom and our liberty. It's just inspiring.
Now, you have been at Colt for only a few years, but you have been a Colt guy from like
a long
teenager-ish?
Long time. My first sidearm was a Gold Cup that I bought in I hate to say the exact age, but in the early 90s. And it's still my favorite pistol. Just a beautiful gun to shoot. And
hard to beat a Gold Cup.
No, dependable as ever.
Yeah. So, I mean, backing up, people who Colt's got to be one of the most recognizable names on the planet. Mm-hmm. I would think, along with Coca-Cola, people know the name Colt.
It's really as iconic as any brand that we have in this country, and we're proud of that. In fact, Colt was the first trademark brand in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, so the quick history is Colt was huge, then Colt kind of got focused on the military side and kind of let the commercial side, that is the civilians, regular folks, go. And the line shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, and then that changed, what, three-ish years ago?
Yeah, really going on about 2 years ago, we really made a significant change towards our consumer business and really trying to rationalize our assortment, making sure that the things that we put out there were things that consumers really wanted. And the other thing we had to really tackle was the retail environment. We needed to crack the code on how we could change our distribution.
You had lost the gun stores.
Correct.
I mean, basically, if you're not there for 20 years.
And no fault to those gun stores, to be honest. We were not supportive during those many years.
Sure.
And so now we're coming back with a lot of strength, with a good assortment of product, priced in market price with a market.
Well, that's the other thing you did, is you look at it and say, where do we need to be? I mean, this is a different market from when Colt got out of it, and there are a lot of players now, and you have to be competitive.
We are, and I would say our guns are relevant. You know, if you look at the history of Colt, there was a moment where our guns were very relevant for the marketplace. I mean, we were, everywhere you went at Camp Perry, there were years where that was all you saw. And we're right now building guns that are relevant for today's shooter. So if you look at this competition pistol, I mean, it has the kind of ergonomics and the kind of shootability that today's IPSC and IDPA shooter are looking for. So for us, it's about being relevant in that moment. And we're really proud of the way the competition pistol really started the whole thing off.
You talk, I'm going to play with the gun, okay?
Yeah, so I mean, that gun to me...
I mean, come on. I've got a 1911 in my hand, so you just talk, and I'm just going to fondle.
Well, let me tell you, it starts with the sight structure. I mean, you're talking about a Novak cut sight structure, and the first time that we were able to work with Wayne Novak and create an adjustable rear sight with the same profile as their combat sight.
Right.
It's a beautiful sight structure. We took the serrations in the rear, which is great for competitive shooters, from our Marine Corps pistol. It has a dual spring operation. And the beauty of that is, the Marines were telling us they could run 15, 16,000 rounds before they were having to change out mainsprings. It takes a lot less battery on the gun. As you know.
And it shoots softer.
Yeah, and it shoots softer, and your recovery shots are much better.
So, I mean, you're getting 4 times the life.
We like to say comfortably, you're going to exceed like 10,000 rounds comfortably with that mainspring. And if you also look, Tom, the undercut trigger guard.
Hold that up to the microphone so people can see it.
Yeah. But underneath the trigger guard, we've cut it so you can really get high in the gun and reduce any kind of felt recoil.
Absolutely.
We're really proud of this pistol, and we think beyond just the one thing that's important about guns, I think for my aesthetic.
Now this is the competition series you have in your hand, right? So people don't know that. Okay.
Yeah, but coming to it, that they're beautiful as well as they are functional.
Yes.
And one of the things about this, when you look at the G10, the blue and black grip structure, I mean, it's a really beautiful gun. And when you see it, this is the stainless version that we just came out with. Literally within the last 2 weeks, we started shipping this product.
But most people have not seen this gun.
Right, and this is about a $1,049 MSRP.
Which is a really good price for a Colt with all the features that you have.
Forged steel frame and slide. I mean, you're talking about the metallurgy in our guns, as you know, is legendary. I mean, we have one of our professional shooters, Mark Riddle, has 180,000 rounds on his Combat Elite. So our guns shoot, and they have tremendous metallurgy.
Justin Baldini just joined us here, sat down here. He's like looking at that thing and going, but I want to tell you about it, too. I want to tell you about it.
Yeah, Tom, how the heck are you?
I'm good. We had a good time this week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a great experience out here at Gunsite for the weekend, and actually, the exciting part for us is really about showing all you guys this new stuff and kind of seeing your faces light up. And obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happened that we're not going to talk about today, but
the secret squirrel stuff.
Secret squirrel stuff, as I like to say, up on stage there. But
not. We don't have to wait all that long. We're talking about just early into next year sometime.
Yeah, we'll know. Couple weeks.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things that Justin is in particular very excited about is the new combat unit rifle, and that rifle is special, and he can walk you through the key features.
Tell you what, hold that thought. I want to take a quick break because I don't want you to run short of time. The Colt Combat Unit rifle or carbine, in this case. We're just doing something with Daryl and the shoot house with that, shooting some video for the TV shows. That thing is really amazing. So that is just very cool. Hold on, guys. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. I'm Tom Gresham. We're at Gunsite. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back.
Shoot
Shooting your gun is more fun than cleaning your gun, right? Then you want Federal's newest high-tech ammo, American Eagle Syntech. With polymer-coated bullets to eliminate copper and lead fouling, clean burning powders, and the Catalyst lead-free primer, Syntech range ammunition means you clean less, shoot more, and shoot better. No copper jacket also reduces splashback when shooting steel in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit federalpremium.com and ask your local retailer for Syntech ammo.
Responsible owners control access to their firearms, even when they may need them in a hurry. Liberty Safe, the nation's leader in gun safes, offers 6 models of handgun vaults. Strong, simple to use, open with a key or fingerprint. Put your handgun in the compact vault, lock it away until you need it. Then it's in your hand almost instantly. Pick the Liberty Safe handgun vault that's right for you. LibertySafeHD.com.
Looking for the gift that keeps on lifting? Bigfoot Gun Belts offer a full line of steel-reinforced leather gun belts. Crafted with a double layer of rich English bridle leather, these gun belts will support the full weight of even the heaviest handgun. Each Bigfoot gun belt is made with the blood, sweat, and beards of Pacific Northwest craftsmen. Capture your legendary gun belt for as low as $59.88 at BigfootGunBelts.com.
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at ShopGunTalk.com. Get prepared. ShopGunTalk.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
All right, we're back with Tom Gresham. We're at Gunsite Academy in northern Arizona, up at about, 4,800, 5,000 feet. I know that if you run real far, you can't breathe when you have sea-level lungs like mine, I guarantee you. Visiting right now with Paul Spitale and Justin
Baldini.
I always want to say Baldini. Anyway, we'll get it right.
That's right.
Okay, so we were just talking about the competition series pistol, and it is a thing of beauty. It is really gorgeous. But I was just over in the shoot house with Daryl, and we were doing something with the new carbine that is the
Colt Combat Unit Rifle.
Combat Unit Rifle.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I shot it at the range. At first you think it's another AR. Give me a break. But there's something about that rifle that feels so good. What you guys do?
There's constant special things. The forend in particular, that Centurion Arms forend. The guy who designed that and designed at least the one that it was based off, his name's Amani Leclerc. He's a former SEAL, good friend of even Daryl and Mike, and kind of knows those guys, and I know him pretty well too. He helped us out. Kind of gave us the base for that, and then we actually kind of made some tweaks to it and figured that out, and then we worked in particular with Mike on the barrel and kind of did the first time that Colt's really done a mid-length gas system in a production rifle, and that's really kind of the special sauce of the whole thing. I mean, the result is a carbine that's it's like 6.5 pounds, and right. It's balanced really well, and it's got all the real estate you need to put whatever you want on it with the M-lock slots, and
it's spooky accurate too.
And it is pretty darn accurate for a chrome lined 1-in-7 kind of
it's kind of
really
a do-everything package.
Yeah, really a production gun. It's not a match gun. It's a production gun, and they reliably run and they shoot.
Yeah, I mean, and when you shoot it, you're just going, huh? It's not like somebody hits you over the head. It's like you're just kind of going, That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, wow, what was that?
It's just right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'll tell you a funny story, Tom. It's been kind of a funny year for us because Mike Pannone had one of these things probably about a year and maybe even a hair over a year ago. We had been kind of sending him back and forth and sending different versions and prototypes back and forth with him. Well, he's out there teaching so many classes that, it didn't take long before people kind of noticed that he had a little something that was a little different than they had seen before. And we would get just tons of calls into customer service like, hey, what's this gun? Like, what's going on here? And we would sort of deny that it existed.
Sergeant Schultz on him. I know nothing.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. So for us, it's really exciting to be able to sort of acknowledge.
Now you can talk about it.
Yeah, acknowledge its existence.
Well, you guys are always working on stuff pretty far in advance, aren't you?
It's the people don't realize the development cycles. 2 years is pretty darn good in the firearms industry, and and sometimes that's about how long it takes. If it's a variation that's not wildly different, then sometimes we can compress that to 7-8 months. In the case of the stainless competition, I mean, that was sort of a natural that we knew was coming next. So we start these things a little earlier than people probably realize.
Okay. Well, now, Paul, you were telling us earlier, and we talked about the rebirth, if you will, of Colt. Mm-hmm. Your growth over the last year has been pretty phenomenal.
Oh, it's been extraordinary. In fact, this last year, we grew north of 50% in terms of revenue this year, and we couldn't be prouder. And things like the competition pistol, which we had the blued version this past year, that represented almost 30% of our units that we did this year. I mean, these are very impactful. These new guns are really resonating with people.
Well, Michelle is sending me notes. She says, I love the competition series. I love the blue front sight on it. I'm looking at it going, well, this has got the red sight.
Well,
but now it comes.
Yeah, the beauty of it comes with a green sight as well. And
so you get blue, red, and green with the pistol.
Right. So the consumer, if they choose and they see a one color better than the other, a lot of the feedback came back that they really like the red fiber optic, but we love the way the blue looks. It just looks fantastic.
Well, it's Colt blue,
Exactly. It's beautiful.
Well, the reason, you guys are doing a lot of things right, but I got to tell you, the reason I'm going to say that you have been so successful is that people wanted Colt to succeed. Mm-hmm. Shooters want Colt to succeed. And they say, I want a Colt. Just get them out the door. Get them into the dealers. And now, to your point, is they're actually sitting in the stores. A dealer that doesn't have a Colt can get a Colt.
That was my biggest frustration, Tom. When I came to Colt 2 years ago and we were trying to, I would go to retail stores, and I went to many shops, almost 40 shops, and very few had Colts in stock. And the reality is, if I wanted to have one for my father in South Carolina, or it was tough because I wouldn't want to recommend a shop and have him get the experience I did.
Go in and say, no, we don't have any of those.
The beauty today with our stocking deal, we have almost 3,700 dealers that are actually stocking Colt product, and that's a much different experience for our consumer.
Wow. Okay, so we've got obviously the 1911s. And one of the things that we haven't talked about is you guys have gotten into, and we shot these last year out here, but the 9mm 1911 is like one of the sweetest shooting guns ever.
Yeah, we've been talking.
So nice.
We've been talking a lot internally about doing a better job of telling that story. I mean, for years, everyone associated Colt 1911 with the 45.
45 automatic.
It's a natural.
Yeah.
But the reality is today, the bullets have improved so much. And you look at what's happened even in the last 2 or 3 years, and you're looking at ammunition that really performs in 9mm, the FBI's adoption of 9mm. And we've been making 9mm 1911 frames since 1949. So
Did I hear somebody say Colt was the first American company to make 9mm?
Yeah.
Really?
Our first Commander was a 9mm in 1949, and you heard Wiley the other night talking about that. And so it's really, for us, it's as much as our history, but we really need to tell a better story. And every new model, and Justin will tell you, every new model we do, we lead story. We have it in 9 and 45. And we're going to tell a better story about that in the coming year.
One of the things, Justin, I wanted to mention is the new rifle comes without sights, because you guys figured out people are going to put whatever sights on it they want, right?
Yeah. And that was intentional. I mean, we talked about the different sights we could have put on it. There's a couple real good sight options out there, but it seems like you're very far into personal preference territory when it comes to sights.
And why make people buy something that they're probably going to replace?
Bingo, exactly.
Anyway,
yep.
I think it's a really smart move. Just give them enough real estate up there to put whatever they want on it. Give them a rifle that shoots, that's comfortable. And I got to tell you, the forum on that thing is awesome. That was the first thing I just fell in love with. When can people find? Is it on the website now?
Oh, yeah. The combat unit rifle is coming out right now, and also the competition pistol.
So they can go take a look at it now, and they can go to the dealers.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool. All right. We'll get you guys back in here a little bit later, okay? We're going to have some more talk. We're at Gunsite in Arizona, and we're having a whole bunch of fun. We've been shooting the Colt guns, and we'd like your comments. 866-TALK-GUN. What do you want Donald Trump to do for the Second Amendment? Welcome to the revolution. Yeah, it wasn't an election. It was a revolution. That's why they never saw it coming. The media didn't see it. The pundits didn't see it. The elites didn't see it. They did not know what was going on. But then they don't drive across the country, do they? They fly over the country. The truth of it is, the flyover country grounded Hillary Clinton. I love it. It is a revolution. And now is not the time to take our foot off of the gas pedal. Now is the time to push, 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 get as much done as we can, as quickly as we can. Line 2, John's with us out of Pennsylvania. John, what do you want us to do? What do you want Donald Trump to do for us?
Oh, this is a no-brainer. I got two things, Tom.
Okay.
So I'm listening to Trump and his first 100 days in office, his plan for the first 100 days in office. Mm-hmm. Included in there, will not pass any new bills without doing away with 2 old bills or 2 bad bills. Okay? No-brainer. Let's give them something simple and do away with steel shot.
Do away with steel shot?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, I'm tired of having to hunt ducks and geese with steel shot in the same fields in the same places that I'm hunting turkey, rabbit, and pheasant with lead.
With lead shot. Makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all. Now, if, you know, I'm willing to compromise. There's 2 waterfowl areas here in Pennsylvania. One's Pymatuning, the other's Middle Creek. I believe Wisconsin has something called the Horicon. You know, let those areas be steel shot. But the rest of the states, you know, where you don't have waterfowl areas like that and you're hunting waterfowl, go back to lead.
What's the other thing you'd like to have them do?
Do you remember several years back when you couldn't buy handgun ammo because the government was stockpiling it? And I think they have enough 40 Smith and 9mm to kill everybody in the United States 7 times over.
They bought a lot of ammo, yeah.
Yeah, they're never going to use it, so why not put it up for sale to the general public through the CMP?
Take all that ammo that they bought and sell it back to us, or sell it to us through the civilian marksmanship program.
That's correct.
That's a cool idea, John. I like that. Look, I appreciate the call, sir. I'm going to try to get Mike in here on line 4. Mike, got about a minute. What are you looking for from the Trump administration?
Well, I'd like to see him either come up with a law or a constitutional amendment forbidding anyone, as president or future, no matter what the treaty is, forbidding any treaty from impacting our national sovereignty. Don't let the UN come in and try and impose its ideas, or the WTO, or whatever. Our national sovereignty is just that.
Interesting idea. And one of the things that I'm hearing is people say, you know, this, and look, thanks for the call, Mike. We have entered into this treaty. The Senate never ratified it, but a treaty in the UN where it's basically a lot of gun control stuff, where the UN makes the rules. And unfortunately, John Kerry signed it for us after the Bush administration refused and wouldn't do it. I would love to see them come back in and just say unequivocally, we reject that, we withdraw our approval of that, that's gone. I think that's actually a real possibility. I think there are a number of things that are going to be done, things that don't require an act of Congress that can come out of the president's office. A lot of executive orders are going to go away, and then we'll see what happens from that point forward. It's going to be fascinating, and of course, everybody's going to be clamoring to get their thing done, and we just have to maintain this squeaky wheel status of ours. We have to let them know what we want, and have to be, strong on that. Now, make no mistake, don't think that this battle is over by any means. The anti-gun forces are going to redouble their efforts. Bloomberg's going to spend more money. They're going to come after us on a state-by-state basis, and all of us need to get involved, joining the NRA, the Second Amendment Foundation, your state organization, getting involved and spending money. Getting involved and spending money. Let me say that one more time. Getting involved and spending money, because that's how we win. Be right back.